Hello everyone, welcome back to another Grand Summoners kind of news update kind of thing, tutorial you could call this. So anyways, we are going to be talking about forever summons today. So what is a forever summon? Forever summons, for those of you who don't know, are basically a daily login summon. It's completely free, doesn't cost any paid or free crystals. Every day you log in, you get the chance to roll for a specific unit on a specific list. If the unit is not on that list, it is impossible for you to get that unit via forever summon. So every day that you log in, you get a chance to summon one unit on the list. It could be a really good unit, like an OP unit, or it could be a not so OP unit, maybe a throwaway 5-star unit for a rainbow gem farm. I'm going to be covering today what units you should be going for, in my personal opinion. Whether you are a vet or a new player, doesn't matter. You all should be going for these units unless you already have them. So the first unit, I think I'm going to be going over the top 5 units I think that you should be going for as any GS player of any progression level. So the first unit is, we obviously know the first unit is Vox. So if you don't know who Vox is like the top best unit in the entire game. He does everything for your team. He heals on his arts and provides a 30% buff to all allies on his arts for 15 seconds. And yes, the HP buff stacks. So if you already have 30% buff from him and he does it again, you'll get another healed 30% of your HP. And so that's how he can act as a pseudo healer for your team. So he heals. He also has a 4-star heal slot on his fully limit break form. He also has a 5-star attack for his true weapon or any other 5-star weapon, and then he has a 5-star support, which is really nice because that means he can provide arts gauge for your team as well. So you can provide arts gauge. He does insane damage. His true art gives him and all of your allies crits by 100% for 15 seconds. So you can pair him with any other attacker and he will let them shine. He has the 5-star support slot, so he provides crits for your entire team, does insane damage on his true arts, heals and buffs all allies' stats on his normal arts, and provides arts gauge via his 5-star support slot. And he increases his own arts gauge by 40% or by 40 during his Magia drive, and provides skill CT for his own self during Magia drive. So yes, you can see why he is one of the best units in the game. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you watch or watch a video on him or look him up to do some further research of himself. So that's my number 1. If you have him, awesome. Then you should be clapping everything in this game. Just kidding. My second unit, I think, is Sistina. Sistina is a Cross the Blaze unit. Vox was a Blood Knight. In case you didn't know, Sistina is a Cross the Blaze. These are all the people on this list actually are Grand Summoners original units that Grand Summoners came out with themselves. I don't have any crossover units because, well, frankly, it's impossible to get any crossover units on the Forever Summon. But either way, Sistina would be number 2. She is an amazing supporter for your team. She provides a 3k barrier on her normal arts for your entire team. No, it's not a taunt tank barrier. It is a barrier that every unit on your team will separately get. So she'll provide that for your team. She provides 20 arts gauge when you awaken her / fully limit break her. She reduces enemies' accuracy by 10% on her skill. Her True Arts provides 100% physical damage and increased damage by 30% for your entire team, which is really nice. So as you can see, she acts as a really good like attacker tank, I guess you would call her. Like, she's pretty good tank for certain situations, but she's just, I don't know, she's just all around an amazing support unit. And if you're missing a good support unit for your team, if you have a team full of attackers and you need a support unit, Sistina is your girl all the way. She also comes with a 5-star physical slot, a 5-star defense slot, and a 4-star support slot. So she can do deeps, she can provide defense for your team, and with her 4-star she can provide some buffs and small amounts of arts gauge for your team as well. The next unit on the list, I think, I don't have her. I know she's definitely gonna be the unit that I'm going for on this Forever Summons, is your girl from Cross the Blaze, Lisa. She is a light unit, and she is also another support unit in the game. She will do absolute wonders for your teams. If you are missing a good archgen, this is your girl. On her true art, she does 30k light damage, reduces all allies' equipment CT by 50%, reduces enemies' light and magic resistance by 35% for 20 seconds, which is really nice. Her arts does 10k light damage, or 10k% light damage, sorry. Autofills all allies' arts gauge by 4 for 10 seconds. Her skill does 2k light damage, magic, and reduces enemies' magic resistance by 10% for 5 seconds. And so as you can see, she's kind of a debuffer and buffer for your team with the equipment CT down, and reducing the enemy's magic resistance by a whole hell of a lot for all of her skills, and then her arts for the arts gen. She also is rocking a nice 5-star support slot for even further arts gen. 5-star magic for either archgen for herself or for deeps for you and your entire team. And then she also has a sweet 4-star heal slot as well for healing. So she's another all-around amazing support unit. If you don't have her, I highly recommend picking her up. And that's why she's number 3 on my slot. Number 4 is your boy Awoken Berwick. So Berwick is another Blood Knight. He is only second to Vox himself, and basically if you're missing a really nice fire DPS unit, then I definitely recommend picking up Berwick. So his true arts does 37k% fire damage when using Magia Drive. Increases all allies damage by 50%, and fire units get an extra 50% during Magia Drive. So if you use his true arts and you're running a mono fire team, you're buffing all of your allies by a whopping 100% damage during his Magia Drive. And his Magia Drive lasts for 180 seconds, which I'm pretty sure is the longest in the game. I think I'd have to check. No, Vox is, he's tied with Vox for 180 seconds, but his lasts for 180 seconds. His arts also increases all allies arts gauge by 25 and increases fire elemental units arts gauge by 2 for 10 seconds. And so that's 2 arts gauge per second for 10 seconds, by the way. And his skill has a chance of burning the enemy. So if you're rocking a fire mono team or looking to rock a fire mono team, definitely have him on your team. Very highly recommend picking him up if you don't have him. He's also rocking 2 awesome 5-star magical slots, which allows him to do some pretty insane damage if you have the right equips via his true weapon or Amane's true weapon. I think that one decreases dark and fire, and I think it stacks with Berwick's true weapon. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then he's also rocking yet another 4-star slot for support. Another unit with a 4-star support slot. So he'll be able to provide even more arch-gen / buffs for your team. So yes, I highly recommend. That's why he's number 4. Number 5 is, thick boy Thetis himself, the tank, the thickest tank in the game, yeah boy Thetis. So the reason why he's the thickest boy is because he has by far the highest barrier in the game. I don't think anyone even comes close. I think Gerald comes close at like 18 or 20k barrier, and that's it. That's still 5,000 damage less than Thetis. And he is a taunt tank, so he will put a barrier up for himself only, but he will also take all the damage for your team and negate it for 2,500 or 25,000 damage for 30 seconds. Also activates his Major Drive for 120 seconds, does 30k % water damage on his true arts as well, and then heals poison and burn for, I think, just himself, because it doesn't say all allies. His arts does 8k water damage, adds own defense 1.5 to arts damage, so if you are having a lot of defense items and crests and stuff like that on Thetis, the more defense you have, the more his arts does. I've never really tampered with that, so I don't know how crazy you can go with it, but it seems like you could do some pretty good damage with it. It increases all allies' break power by 30%, which is really nice. Takes all damage towards allies except % negated own damage for a total of 10k damage for 15 seconds. So he basically puts up another taunt tank barrier for 10,000 damage for 15 seconds. And then his skill reduces break resistance by 15% for 7 seconds. He's also rocking a sweet 5-star defense, 5-star attack, and 4-star defense for extra defense and extra attacks for your team. So those are just, in my opinion, my top 5. Obviously, other people are going to have other opinions on whether or not these should be the top 5, but these are just my own top 5 that I know of in the game. So that comes to question, Jason, who do I go for? During Forever Summons, you have at least a month is usually how long they last before they stop, and during the game leading up to this Forever Summons, you should do some research. If you're really going to be into the game, do some research, find the notable units that you might want to get. If you have specific units that aren't even on this list, that is perfectly fine. If you like a certain unit really a lot and you really want to get them, or you got the game just to get this unit and they're not on this list, I'm not saying that you shouldn't summon for them. Summon for whoever you want. This list is just my opinion. But back on track, for the Forever Summons, I highly recommend that you make a list of at least 3 different units that you don't have that you really want to get. That way, if you don't get the first choice that you want, and say like your second unit of choice appears on there and you only have like a few more days to do the Forever Summons, choose that second unit. Don't try and reroll to try to get your number 1 most wanted unit. That's why I always say have backup units, because it does happen. It's happened to me where it's come down to the last final 3 days and my first initial choice never popped up and I only have 3 days left. I re-roll and it's someone else that's still pretty good that I'm like, hey, maybe I want this unit too. I highly recommend choosing it and not risking it, because yes, your next day could be that number 1 unit that you want, but more often than not, the next final remaining couple days, if you choose to skip, are all going to be really crappy units that you don't want. So always have a list of at least 3 different units that you want, and if that unit from that list appears on there, I highly recommend just taking it and running with it. That way, you don't miss out on any of the units that you want, So, yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I don't know the date off the top of my head for when the Forever Summons are coming back, but if I am able to find out, I will flash on the screen now, just to give you guys a good heads up on how long it's gonna be. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and if you really like this video, I would really appreciate if you left a comment, maybe even subscribed, liked the video, whatever. You can always pop down in the description too. My Discord is linked into the description. Holy crap, I can talk right now. My Discord is linked in the description down below if you want to join it. We are there building a community to help new players out, or even veteran players. We're all there to help and support each other throughout this game, because it's just full of people that really like this game and really like helping other people out. So yeah, I hope you really like this video, and I'll see you in I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.